Hey everyone, your designers are here. I'm Anita from Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today, so let's get started.
So today is episode 125, How to Throw the Best Potluck Party. And if you listen to one of the most recent episodes, you know this episode was not my idea. I'm not a giant fan of the potluck, and I shared that, and I hope no one holds it against me, but maybe there's some of you out there that feel the same way, and we may have our minds changed today by these two gals, particularly Miss Yvonne. She is, I think, somewhat famous for her potluck parties.
Okay, let's get into this potluck. I'm really excited about this. Maybe I can change your mind, Kelly.
Well, I'm open. I'm a very open person.
Think
But let me just say, it stems back. Peter and I, we're different in many ways. One of our really strong similarities is neither one of us likes a potluck. Okay,
that seals
you don't
your
like
marriage.
to attend them, or you don't like to host them, or both.
We've never hosted one, and we don't really like to attend them. We don't like buffets either.
I'm not a buffet girl. I'm not a buffet.
So you're not a buffet girl either. But I see them so closely intertwined. See, when we used to go to, when Peter was little, his mom thought it was such a big deal. And it was, it was an expensive morning out, but she loves brunch, and she would take them to, or their family would go to the Keybridge Marriott, which is still there, Yvonne, by the Keybridge in DC. And you could go there if you liked buffets, but you don't either. But they had the Keybridge Marriott buffet, and Peter would have to go there, and it would go on for hours and hours.
Oh no!
And then when I started dating Peter and we got engaged and we married, we would go for the weekend, and that would be Sunday morning. We'd want to kind of sleep in and go for a run or whatever, and it would be nope, gotta get up and you gotta eat lasagna and shrimp and have some quiche, and then there'll be 47 pastries, and would you like a mimosa and a Bloody Mary? So that, so it's kind of like a deep-seated dislike of brunch that is now slid into the best potluck, but I am open, so go for it. Change my mind.
I think the downside is if you're hosting it, you really don't know what people are bringing, so I think that's that's the
essence of the event.
No, but I think the struggle is not so much controlling what everyone is bringing, but just making sure it's all right, but making sure it's all balanced so that you're not getting all desserts or all salads or all,
I see,
green
but
bean casserole.
Yes,
what you said, the word control, which that may also be one of my issues with this, because I don't like not to be in control. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
I'm getting so much better with that as I get older. It's like, what the heck?
Okay, so tell us, what is the secret to hosting?
Every other week, I teach a Bible study. And at the Bible study, every week I teach a Bible study. And every other week, we have a potluck lunch. And it's not at my house, which is very nice, too.
Is it at the same house every week?
Yes. This is my dear, dear friend. Oh, Barb just is amazing hostess. But anyway, and if we have, you can sort of bring anything that you want, but there's certain times when we host a potluck, like if we're doing a Christmas brunch or end of this year brunch or the beginning brunch, that, we have people sign up. Like I usually bring a couple people bring the meats, and then either people bring sides or dessert. And that really helps.
Well, that's controlled. You have an idea.
Yeah. And I mean, you can decide what you want to bring. You don't have to be so stiff about it, but at least you're not getting 32 salads and no desserts.
Well, and
or the other way around.
Our church has our parish, which is a smaller group in our church. We get together once a week, and it's a potluck every week. But what they do is they have a sign up, and so there'll be so many slots for salads, entrees, and then we have a theme. I think that's helpful too. So
that's fun.
It's Brinner or it's Mexican or
what's Brinner?
Breakfast for dinner.
Oh, I thought it was brunch or dinner.
No, it's breakfast for dinner. So it's breakfast stuff. So maybe it's Mexican or Italian. So I think that's helpful too, if you do have a theme, to give that so people know what types of things. But then there's so many slots, and then you just kind of but, because this is a church thing, it's online. So, when you select what you're bringing, that option is no longer available. So I don't know if people want to go high tech, but, if you're not together physically to say, I'm bringing this, I mean, there's some, more high tech options where you can kind of just offer the options, because I really, I really don't like to tell my guests, you're bringing this and you're bringing
No,
that.
I wouldn't do that, because here's why. When people do potlucks, they're making something that they make well. They're not going to bring something that is like, I really don't like to make this, so I'm not good at it.
Well, and I want someone to bring something. Yeah, I want someone to bring things that they're excited about. I mean, if someone loves to make dessert like me, let me bring a dessert. I'm going to bring a good one.
You can bring all the desserts you want, Anita.
Because I'm not going to go buy it. Oh, and then that's the other thing. Okay. So bought or made, because, that's another question.
Let's jump back for a second though. When they're doing the deciding who's going to bring what, do they use Sign Up Genius?
No, I've never heard of Sign Up
I don't know what it
Genius.
is. No, it's something through the church.
We use
I don't know.
a paper and a pen.
No, she's asking mine. I don't know what it's called, but it's not. No, but is that a good one?
That's a very good one. I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, thank you. That would help our group as well.
Oh, do I hear it?
Ding. Okay. Yes, absolutely. This is our new high tech
tip of the day. It's so high tech. It's an actual bell instead of us saying ding, ding, ding.
Well, that's pretty high tech considering we were going ding, ding, ding.
And
you
we
might
did
have
that
to
for
ring
so
it
long.
in rapid. Yeah, ring it in rapid succession, and it would mimic more the ding, 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 ding.
Okay. We'll see if we'll get our person working on that. Let me get my assistant on that.
Hey,
our dinger.
You asked such a good question. Do you bring something that is store bought?
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say, store bought? You know what you can do, gals? Get the store bought, take it out of that plastic wrapping, and put it on a platter. Put a paper doily in it. Nobody knows the difference.
Okay.
Well, and there's different qualities of store bought.
That's exactly
because
right.
I know when we have pizza night, we'll go get a gluten-free pizza from a really nice pizzeria. But sometimes people bring frozen. So, there's quite a, so there's different things. So
I'm just going to be so hardline on this.
Okay, say it.
She's taking a position.
She's taking a position. Bring it.
You just have to respect that.
I know.
I think what
you
it
should
is.
make. If everybody else is making things, make something for heaven's sake.
But if I get that. What about if most people are not making it?
Well, then shame
How
on
do you
them.
know? How do you know until you get there?
Well, I'll tell you what. Like if you saw a bunch of desserts, I know, and I'm not a baker. And I mean,
oh yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
Well, you get the discount. Get $10 off Mrs. Fields. Go ahead.
Well, now Mrs. Fields is your exception. Bring those
seriously. But I think that if you're, because I do one a lot because of my Bible study, but unless you do it, unless you're just doing it all the time, how hard is it? Put something in your slow cooker.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a salad togetger.
Mm-hmm.
Do something. If you're going to be invited to that, put a little bit of effort.
Well,
into it.
Okay. So let me back up, and I'm going to defend these people a little bit because I think it does. I think it depends. If it's kind of more of a party, I really feel much more strongly. Make some effort.
Yeah.
Make it something special. Make it. But if it's something like my church has the weekly thing. Most of the people are young professionals. They're working long hours and, they go buy it. So
that's exactly what I said, Anita.
Yeah.
If it's something that you're going to do all the time, that's a little different. But if it's something, if it's like the end of our Bible study year, make something. I really do make things just because I think it's a nice way to bless people with it. That's
and I think too, it kind of depends on the group because if everyone else is buying it, then
still make it.
Then you still make it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kelly. So
Yes,
maybe
Dawn.
that would help you if everybody made things. And here's the other thing: make something that's fresh. If because so many people, I mean, I love, what is it called? Those funeral potatoes. Oh my goodness. Done in the casserole.
Funeral potatoes?
Yeah. I don't think I know what this is. What is it?
Oh, there's a recipe. Just go to Pinterest and put in funeral potatoes. And it's this recipe that has like these frozen hash browns and cream and cheese and all this good stuff.
So is this kind of like death by chocolate funeral potatoes?
Yeah,
like cheese and potatoes.
But no, it's like you always bring them to like funeral, like potlucks. But
okay,
no,
please don't have a potluck for my funeral.
Yeah. But anyway,
we'll have it catered, darling.
They're so delicious. But they're
like Yvonne to make a turkey.
Yeah. One scoop of those is just, I mean, it's got to be like astronomical as far as fat and calorie content. So, try to incorporate something. Maybe you'll be the one that brings the really fresh salad, with the great homemade dressing.
Okay. So
it takes like no time.
Okay, so I've never hosted one of these. Maybe the listeners have done this, but they could definitely benefit from some of your experience and know-how. So how do you put together the best potluck as the hostess? Yvonne.
So easy. Okay, all you need is a big space, like in my kitchen, let's say my kitchen island. And even, literally Thanksgiving is sort of a potluck. We have everybody, we know what we're bringing, but everybody brings. And for a potluck, I don't think that it should be something, I mean, I like really beautiful paperware. So you just use, you can use plastic forks, knives, and spoons. You can use great, paperware like plates and dessert plates or bowls and cups and great napkins. And they have beautiful ones. And this is the time to do it because a potluck's a lot less formal. And then I usually just have everything on my island. Maybe I have a few vases. I have like little milk bottle vases that I put with some kind of maybe greens at Christmas or other flowers or something like that. And then you just call it a day.
Mm-hmm. Sounds wonderful.
I use ball jars to put all my utensils in, like all my forks together. We just had a big birthday party that was sort of a potluck. Everybody brought something. And it was in November. And I put candy corn in the bottom of my mason jars and then put like all the forks on top of it. It just
stop
really
it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cute.
So it does. I mean, potluck, the very thought of a potluck is something just really relaxed. And the idea of it is just fellowship and community.
Well, I don't want to go down as the one who doesn't like fellowship.
No. So let me ask you, Kelly, what is it that you don't like about it?
Yeah,
you feel like people are feeling pressure to bring something? Is that what you don't like about it?
Well, yeah, I don't like the pressure to bring something. I don't like that.
Right.
And although I honestly don't mind bringing something if someone asks me, and I always do ask, but I am always happy when it's like, oh, bring wine, or they say nothing, so I bring them like a rosemary plant or something. And I think that I think it is a little bit of the loss of control, because you don't know. But, now we're saying with the sign of genius, which I'll put in the show notes, people can check that out, or just emailing around, bring this, bring that. You can sort of take the element of control out. But, you can't have everything all set up. I mean, you can have your ball jars with your candy corn and your forks and knives, but the stuff is coming in and it's like, maybe, some are in tinfoil and some are in something. Then you have to wash and get back to someone. I don't know. It just seems no. Try to take out the complications, but there are complications.
Kelly, in a potluck, you take that thing home dirty. You just put it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where do you live?
Oh,
yeah. You take your dirty stuff home.
You take it home. And here's what you should
do. Anita, Jean, you put dirty things in your car. I don't believe
Well, if it's going to be, dripping. Well, first off, my car is the farm vehicle. So if you've seen what goes in my car, a dirty dish is nothing. But yeah, if it's going to drip all over, I mean, I might rinse it off in the sink, but I don't expect the host to do that.
Oh, no. You take it home. And here I have a cute story. It was of course we're going to have actually lunch this week, but a few weeks ago we had lunch and I made this, and I did make something I never made before, which I usually don't do, but it was a pumpkin pull apart bread. I got it from Pinterest. Oh, it was so delicious. And I don't know what possessed me, but I kept hearing something rattling in the back of my car. And then I'd get in and get driving, and then I'd forget about it. And then it would rattle every once in a while. The other day, I opened the trunk of my car, and there is like this little tiny piece left of this pull-apart pumpkin bread.
Oh, no.
It must have been in there 3 weeks. And it was like all hard like a rock,
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Like a little
didn't,
cement pumpkin
yeah,
ball.
yeah. So you have to be careful, but take it home dirty.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
Here's what I usually do is, if it's something hot, I get so many boxes from, like, dare we say, Amazon.
Yes.
And because I have things of different sizes. So I don't take something in like the same, some people have these cute little carriers they take. I don't do that. I just find a box and I line it with dish towels. And I put my, whatever I'm going to bring, and I do bring it in a ceramic or some kind of pretty bowl. Mm-hmm. And then I put more dish towels on top if it's hot. And I throw a fork and a knife or whatever, a server, some kind of a server. And I take pot holders and then with me. So I sort of know that automatically. I'm going to take pot holders to get it out and one to put under it. So if it's on a table that's wooden, if it's something hot, it's not going to ruin it. I make sure that I'm taking serving pieces, because the last thing you want to do is ask the hostess, who's probably been asked 50 times, do you have a serving spoon I could have?
Well, here's the thing. You are skilled, both of you, skilled and experienced potluck people.
Oh my
I don't think that happens all the time.
Kelly,
not everyone's thinking about pot holders and utensils and all of that. And so you get there and it's like, oh, now the host is running around getting, willy-nilly getting a spatula and a spoon.
Well, and if it's a fancy thing, I also try to bring it in a pretty container because, rather than Tupperware to serve from. If she's got this beautiful table, I don't want to be setting down a Tupperware container on top of that.
I think you all are making my argument against the potluck.
No, you make one thing and you can try all these great recipes. And I always, I try to put something, I like to have either something on my blog, or I do have a bunch of recipes that I just, in years past have in a Google Doc. And it's so easy to say, this is where you get it.
If someone's asking for your recipe.
And I make this holiday brisket that is out of this world. My sister-in-law, Sue, who has the macaroni and cheese, it's so good. It's this big holiday brisket, and you use, let me think what you use, Lipton onion soup, cranberry sauce, and something else. That's it. And you put it in a slow cooker. It is so fabulous. Everybody wants that. And I can say, just go look it up. It's on my blog.
So that's on your blog. I'm going to put that in the show notes.
And listen, here's another tip.
Yeah,
because you get there and there's 25 different things, and you're going like, what is that? So either take a piece of paper, like a cardstock, and fold it over and put the name of what it is and like what its main ingredients are. And like, especially for you, Anita, if it's something gluten-free, just write gluten-free or dairy-free on it.
Yeah.
But I have these cute little stand-up galvanized markers that they stand up by themselves, and I can write on it with chalk on it and like what it is.
Okay, I would go to your potluck. Okay.
Well, listen, I have
that sounds pretty nice.
My Southern friend, Loretta, and she says, "Hi, I'm Loretta." I love how she says that. She even like ties ribbons on her serving pieces.
Oh, wow.
Like to match.
Loretta.
I mean, she loves doing this. She's like excellent. But
and see, that's the downside too. Is see, and you're kind to bring that serving utensil. I tend not to because I'm always concerned that I'll never get it back. I mean, every time I've had to host a potluck,
you have control issues too.
I end up with all these extra spoons, and then I go to church the next day and say, "Whose spoon was this? Whose fork is this?"
It's spoon time in the church.
I know.
People.
Okay, being really a non-participant in the potluck, but I have done this before. You can put, it's not going to really work as well on utensils, but if you are worried about getting your tureen or your platter back or something, put a piece of masking tape with Sharpie, and you can put your name on the bottom of it, right?
Like, who are you potlucking with when you're worried somebody's going to walk off with your soup tureen?
That's
why she doesn't like it.
No, I think
she's had bad history.
That's more like at church. That's more like at church where they end up in the kitchen.
Yeah, the church people, they'll take your tureen.
Those church people, they wash it and nobody knows whose it is,
Right, someone washing it, trying
or
to
you
do you
forget
a favor.
to take it home.
Well, that happens.
Maybe that's it. I've had too much wine, and I forget
go to
take
Bible
my
study,
home.
and where we have our every other week lunch. Barb has this, it's all in her basement. It's like a whole nother house, but she has a big pool table on one end, and everything that's left over is on the pool table. So you just go look on the pool table to find it.
Well, you guys are so expensive.
My mother-in-law used to put, I think she had a huge piece of plywood because she used to have a big Christmas party every year, and they did have a pool table. I have no idea why. So she would always cover that up with a big piece of plywood and then cover it up with, I guess, some sort of cushioned top on it. And that was a big buffet where she served everything.
Smart idea.
Hey,
this is the whole thing.
Let me jump in here before we go through, and then we'll run through all these great tips, because I think there were a lot of wonderful tips today that we could pull out again. Boom, boom, boom towards the end, because we were laughing and I was anti-potluck. But now I might be changing my mind. Lots of great tips, and I just want to review them. I mean, it's kind of selfishly for my own self.
You just have to go to the show notes.
I'll have to go to the show notes. So we're saying make categories and have people sign up, whether it's verbal or online through Sign Up Genius or something else like that, or a good old piece of paper and pen. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the next tip that we've already covered? We're just doing a review now.
Well, I think
don't overthink it.
Well, if you're the guest, put it in a pretty container. Bring, every accoutrement you might need. The serving spoon, maybe hot pads if it's going to go on, if it's hot, and that sort of thing.
Good
and
thinking.
Bring some type of a label or a little marker.
Labels are nice.
That tells what it is.
I love that. Now, would you even think about maybe doing the recipes? Like we talked about with the cookie party, would you put your recipe on some cards? I mean, you don't want to be so presumptuous that everybody is going to be wanting your holiday brisket, but they
it
might.
doesn't hurt.
What usually happens is there are several favorites, and people will say, hey, do you have the recipe for that? And we have a phone chain. We have not a phone chain, email. And we just throw it up on the email. So anybody who wants it could have it.
Oh, that's smart. See,
that's
that
a
might be
great
part
idea.
of my stress too. Like what if people what if my thing didn't have any spoonfuls taken out of it or something? You know? There's so much involved in the potluck.
Here's what you do. You tell 3 of your best friends there, please at least take a bite of that so I don't feel bad.
Exactly. Or just make those funeral potatoes, which sounds really great. Okay. And I loved Yvonne's tip, and it got a little bit glossed over, I think, about the transporting, because that's more potluck stress for me. Like, how do you get it there? Do you seatbelt in your casserole on the and then you make a quick right and it's all over? Literally.
Yeah, don't put it in that brand new car.
Right. So Yvonne said she puts it in a box, and what else?
Yeah, like an Amazon box. And I put dish towels on the bottom. Then if it's hot, and then put whatever it is in. Let's say I have a little baking dish of, I don't know, macaroni and cheese.
Well, don't bring something sloshy without a really good lid on it.
If you're going to bring something sloshy, you put it in a slow cooker.
No soup.
Yeah. Yeah, and I actually
I do soup all the time.
Now, wait a minute.
I put it in a slow cooker.
You're so advanced, potluck. It's
no, wait a minute.
Me.
I have a crock pot where the lid snaps on. None of that stuff is splashing out.
Well, I invert my lid, and then I put foil. I put foil between the lid and the slow cooker and invert my lid over.
Well, I got the crock pot that has the lid that clamps on because
fancy dancing.
Well, no, we got it because we were eating down by the creek, and so we were putting it in the back of the 4-wheeler, and talk about getting sloshed around. I mean, that thing like tumbled 4 times before we'd get there. So.
Oh my gosh, that's like the old Samsonite commercial when they would put the suitcase in with the gorilla. It's like Anita and her crock pot,
and it doesn't leak.
Be like, it made
it. Do you have a name for that? You want to put that in the show notes?
I'll put it in there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to figure out what it's.
There's a lot of good tips today. But then I would also say, Kelly, just relax, because potlucks is supposed to make it easy on you.
Well, that's what I think the irony of the potluck is.
Yeah, that is the irony of the potluck.
At least from where I was sitting. Now I'm open to these ideas. I'm feeling a little more comfortable.
Well,
next time I get one of those in the mail for Sign Up Genius, I'm not going to be so
Well, I mean, but the other thing is, because I know certain parties I go to, everything's very rich. Everything's got, all the recipes start with take a stick of butter, and there's a lot of butter, there's a lot of cream, there's a lot of cheese. So. When I go to these things, I like to have something that kind of cleanses I like to have something a little lighter.
That's what I said. Make a really great salad.
So I usually like a salad with, some kale in it. Maybe it's got some of the pomegranate seeds. And it's just a fun salad, very healthy and full of good, antioxidants. So I try to do that. And I always do try to make, I haven't done it lately, but a homemade dressing. I love making homemade dressings.
Homemade dressings I can make a homemade dressing in under 20 seconds.
Yeah, I can too.
It's that easy.
And that immersion blender does make it easier too.
And I just do it in a ball jar and shake it up. Then I just take the ball jar with me. Here's another thing. If you get stressed about doing a potluck, find something that is fabulous. My friend Fran Fran. Oh, and I just adore her. Hello, Fran. Has the most wonderful recipe for meatballs that you would ever have in your whole life. I'm serious. I'm not making this up. And her grandmother, it was her grandmother's recipe. So it's Grandma Lo Bianco's famous meatballs. And her grandmother gave her this recipe, but told her, you are not allowed to give it to anybody else. And her grandmother was this little Italian lady, sweet little Italian lady. Well, maybe not so sweet, because she's.
So I was going to say sweet.
I was going to say she sounds really sweet.
So anyway, she gave me the recipe,
Fran,
and I put it on my blog.
Oh!
She gave me permission, though. So
you are cursed by the Sicilian mother.
Well, I have got to have this recipe. I want the recipe.
Listen to this. So. She always says, well, Yvonne, if we're sitting outside of the pearly gates, it's because my grandma Lo Bianco is after us and she won't let us in. But but it is that good. And they are super easy to make. Like you make them up, you bake them, and you throw them in a store-bought sauce and you put them in the refrigerator overnight. And that's the secret. And then you put them in a slow cooker insert.
So the secret is what? Letting them soak in the sauce in the fridge overnight?
You make these meatballs, which is like, the recipe is so super easy. Now I added onions to it, and that's in my recipe. You don't even have to add that because that's not in the original recipe. It's like a handful of this and a handful of that. And then you bake them for, I think, 20 minutes on 350. Put them in a slow cooker in the
Are you putting us all in peril by telling us all this information about this recipe?
But what I'm going to say, make that recipe and be like Fran is famous for that. Everywhere she goes, like she'll once in a while she'll have us for lunch and she'll say, "What do you want, Yvonne?" I said, "Why do you even ask?"
Right.
Because that's what she said. I've made like 6 meals in the last 2 weeks of Grandma Lobianco's famous meatballs. We'll put them in the show notes because this might be your signature too. But just remember, you may be sitting outside of those pearly gates.
Well, it's not going to be quite
after you.
You can't put that blood on our heads. It's not. We're not the ones that shared it.
I started muting I'm not listening to this.
I'll put that in the show notes. But what I'm saying, Kelly, if you would start making those and they're so easy, that would take the stress off because that's what Kelly brings.
Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health, potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about. Visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's just your thing. And you don't have to rethink it each time.
You would be invited to every potluck there is.
Oh, then I'm not doing it.
I want Yeah, but I'm getting this recipe, seriously.
I'll put it on. It's in my, just Google Stone Gable, just even meatballs, because they're the only ones I have. Mm-hmm. But I'll put them in the show notes. Mm-hmm. But seriously, so and that's a really good tip. Do one thing that is easy and you do well and bring it.
Yeah. And then they're probably going to tell you to bring that again.
Yeah.
Great.
And don't stress. So those are our tips. And And we just hope that you host a potluck because they're fun. And don't stress about it. Just have a lot of fun and enjoy the company of the people you're with. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey everybody, we want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com, or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. When you subscribe, DTT comes free right to you 3 days a week. So until next time.